Good afternoon, parents. Good afternoon, students. Principal update here. Obviously, clearly quite a lot going on over the last 24 hours in the news, and even today, I'm sure you'd have picked up that Scotland has announced that it's clearly going back into lockdown, closing schools, remote learning, and we're expecting an announcement tonight at 8 o'clock from the government, the UK government. And I'll be honest, I really don't know what they're going to say. They're not in the same position as Scotland in the fact that Scotland clearly went very early in terms of making sure they've got provision in place for the summer exams, and the UK, or I should say England, haven't done that yet. So I really am not sure how they're going to proceed with that situation, but we will keep you posted. I wanted to give you a quick update now. We've been busy today, obviously back inside AUEA, setting up our test centre. Students will recognise this, some parents, if I walk out here, and you'll see where our new test centre is. It's known as Shilling Base, or the new Roots studio. So this is obviously in the process of being turned into our new engineering studio, but it happens it's fallen a point where it's not quite been converted, and therefore it's been perfect to turn into our COVID centre. So I should say our COVID test centre. So what we've got going on here is that students will be able to come in, they'll be registered through our first registration desk as they normally would, washing their hands, normal procedures apply, and then they'll be taken into one of our holding rooms and then through into the test centre once they're coming in. And you can see here I've got chairs where the students are isolated. There's a registration desk just behind me here where they're processed as part of the test centre procedures. We then head round on our one-way system. Get myself knocked over, I can't walk backwards. Through our one-way system here into our main test centre. So you'll see here, these are the testing bays, which are isolated. They're private bays where the student is supported to undergo the lateral flow test. These are the tests that are done and have been used for the last 3 months by the NHS. And many parents already, I know, and families work for the NHS have been doing these at home every 3 days. So they are a nasal and throat swab, which you will do, and you will just swab within your mouth and then followed by your nasal cavity, and then you put it into a vial of liquid. That should take approximately about a minute, 2 minutes of your time. It's then handed over to our processing bays, which are over here, as you can see here. And I've got people who will be processing those and doing the chemical analysis, which effectively means they're using a biosensor. It's a bit like a pregnancy test. They'll put the buffer solution in and then they pour it onto the sensor, and the sensor sits then for the half an hour, or in fact it sits for half an hour in the solution first, then it's poured on, and then we wait for the results. In the meantime, then you'll be going back out via the one-way system and into one of the classrooms where you will be waiting then for your result, and the result comes within 30 minutes. As I said, this isn't a COVID test result. This is a lateral flow test, which is then an indication of whether or not you could have COVID. And at that point then, if you had a positive test that's indicated that you could possibly have COVID, you would then be sent home to go for a normal COVID test. Okay, so there's going to be lots of information coming out to parents. I had planned, as I mentioned, to send that information out today about the testing procedures, about all the permission slips and the consent slips, etc., that are required. I won't be doing that this afternoon for the obvious reason that if there are any significant changes tonight at 8 o'clock, and I'm sure you can imagine my frustration that we just seem to be planning everything. I've spent the last 4 days of my Christmas holidays away from my family working, getting this all ready to then have subsequent changes tonight. But that's the case, we'll deal with it. But as a result, I'll be sending out tomorrow, providing we're still on track to open as normal from the government. I will be sending out all those information tomorrow morning around the testing, more information, and obviously the consent slips will come. They will come to you in a couple of methods. They'll come to you via email as an attachment for you to print and sign and send in with your child. You may not have a printer at home, therefore they'll also come as digital on parent mail as a form that you can fill in. What I would say on parent mail, I apologise that there was an issue with the parent mail filling in the form for key worker provision and for vulnerable child and free school meal. That was completely a administrative error. There was a box that said maximum people, and we thought it meant something something different, and we put 2 in the box, and actually it turned out that was the maximum number of people who could send the form back. So well done for those 2 people who got their form in, and I do apologise for all the rest of the people who got frustrated that they filled the form but couldn't send it back. So we've learnt from that. Every day is a training day, as we say, and certainly was today, and we apologise for that mess up. On that note then, can I just say, if you haven't filled that form in, please do fill the form in and send it back. On there is also around 3 school meals, and so far I've had about 20 people come back to me when normally we'd be expecting about at least 100 and 150. So I'll just remind you, 3 school meals. If you're at home, we'll be sending you a hamper. Okay, and again, I put in my previous letter, we apologise that the standard of the previous hamper was not good enough, and the staff here were not impressed with it, and therefore we've now changed supplier. I believe now it's a Morrison's hamper that will come. So to do that, and to book onto that, what you need to do, as I said, is fill the form in, is number 1. And if that doesn't work for you, please contact via Helen Walklet, and the information is in the email that I sent you. So helen.walklet@auea.co.uk if you haven't booked through that form to say, please, can I have a hamper sent to me? And we'll be sorting that out as soon as possible. As I said, there could be subsequent changes overnight with future lockdowns. We will see. Okay, so back into the testing then, and remind the testing process. So I will send you tomorrow the information on how to what the test procedure is about, which I've just gone through anyway, but just the information along with the consent form for your child to send back into it. I can also thank the people who've come back to me, parents volunteering and supporting the school in doing the testing. As you can see, as I mentioned then, there's quite a bit additional new staff for the test centre. We've got processors, registration, administrators, and then clearly we've got the test team around here. At least 6 people needed per day doing the testing, and I've had a number of parents see me already, and grandparents in fact, and retired nurses to say could they help, but we certainly need more. So a real encouragement that if you are out there and want to do it, there's also the ability to have some small paid roles. It's not a huge amount paid, but you know, I think it's about £11 an hour, but please, again, we're looking for that support as well. So if you feel you've got time and it's something, there's training that's provided as part of it, I'm building that test team now, so please do get in contact via Principal PA@auea.co.uk, and I will ensure that I come and speak to you over the next couple of days. We've had a lot of phone calls today from parents and from students, obviously still a bit confused about when am I returning. So I sent out the letter earlier on this week along with a timetable, and I apologise if that's a little bit confusing. And what I will do is, again, today I plan to send out a bit of a clearer visual diagram explaining when you're coming back. But again, because of the news tonight, or expected news, I'm going to hold fire till tomorrow morning. But tomorrow I will resend out. I know Year 12 and 13 today have had some additional information sent from the sixth form team here, which is great, and I'll be sending that out to years 9, 10 and 11 tomorrow as well, being a bit clearer. But as I said, I will wait and see what the news is after tonight at 8 o'clock from Boris Johnson. But on that form, it explains the fact that we'll be bringing Year 12 back in this week for their tests, and also starting their exams, because they've got exams on Monday and Tuesday next week, as well as pre-release material to do. The other bit of information that's coming out today to Year 11 is that Year 11 were anticipated and should have been booked in on Thursday to be doing their BTEC exams. We've received information from the exam board to say that won't be happening given the current situation, and that the date will be moved later on in the year, i.e. to the summer, for the children to do the test then. So that's BTEC Year 11. An email will be coming to you in literally the next few moments, if not as I'm speaking to you right now, informing you about that around the Year 11 exam. So I want to give you the heads up. I apologise again, this is all coming to us really late notice. The exam boards are hearing it at the same time as we are live on TV, so that's a real frustration for everybody that we're not having the information to be able to deal with it. As I said, at the moment, the Year 12 exams for next week on Tuesday and on Monday, the 11th and the 12th, are going ahead, and the pre-release work on the Thursday and the revision sessions on the Thursday and the Friday of this week. So we're still planning for it to go ahead, but we don't know until after tonight. So lots going on. As I said, I just wanted to give you a quick update. Please do get in contact. I know you're reaching out to the school, but do use the email addresses as well. If you look on the website, you'll see that we've also got our team's numbers now. So all of our staff are available and working to get in contact. We spent a lot of time and money investing in the additional teams facilities. So all staff have got that ability to be contacted as well. So do keep in contact, ask the questions, and we'll try and keep you updated as best as we know when we know it. And as I've been saying to a lot of people, we can tell you what we don't know. At the moment, we know not a lot and a lot of change as well. So we can keep you informed of what we do know when we know, and hopefully that will work together with you. Take care, stay safe. Thank you very much.